first item is who has to file a business return. Very important here. There's a lot of people that are never sure exactly what does it take, what does it mean that when you file a return. If you are a service-oriented business, as far as the IRS is concerned, if you receive $1, then you have to file. A lot of people believe, well, I made less than $200. I made less than $400, I don't have to file. $600 is a huge number for whatever reason. A lot of people believe that if I make less than $600, I don't have to file. But that is not correct. A lot of people believe that $600, in my opinion, is that if you make less than $600, the person who provides you with that income does not have to provide you with a 1099 statement. And that's fine, you may not receive the 1099, but as far as the IRS is concerned, they want you to file. That's if you're service-oriented. What if you purchase a product and then resell it? Again, as far as the IRS is concerned, if you make that $1, you have to file. What does that $1 constitute? If you buy something for $5 and you sell it for $10, you have to file. A lot of people believe, well, it's going to take me a lot of time and it's going to cost a lot of money to file this. And I'll review both of those in a few moments, but that's not true. The thing is, especially in the first couple of years, you're going to want to file. Why are you going to want to file? Because typically, on paper, your expenses are going to outweigh your income. In other words, what you bring in, on paper, what you bring in is going to be less than what you put out. And that's normal for whatever business it is that you may have. Whether you have landscaping business, whether you're a roofer, whether you're a plumber, whether you sell baskets, cosmetics, vitamins, it is very normal for you to show a loss in the first 2 years. And a loss basically is your expenses are greater than your income, again, on paper. So you want to definitely file the first couple of years because you're going to show that loss. That loss will then reduce the family income. The family income will be reduced, which means income taxes will be reduced, and typically you get a larger refund because of this. What you do with that refund then, as a portion of it was because of your business, then you put that amount of money back into your business. That's the first reason which you want to file. The second reason you want to file is, let's say for example that you're trying to finance your home, refinance your home, buy a home, whatever it might be, and you tell the bank that you have a snow plowing business, that you did very well in 2012 in your snow plowing business, or in 2013. But if you don't show that income on your return, then you do not have a business. If you don't show it on your return, then the bank won't believe that you're making the money, and they'll give you no credit for the additional income that you may have. So the first reason you want to file is basically the IRS is telling you you have to file. You make that dollar, you have to claim it. The second reason in which to file is typically in the first 2 years you're going to show a loss, which in the end, you'll end up with a bigger refund. The third reason is that if you have a business and you are making money at it and you don't claim it, then that will not work in your favor if you try to buy or refinance your home. So those are the three reasons in which you have to or want to file your business return. There are many individuals out there, in my opinion, that do not file, and I think that they're missing a tremendous amount of the benefits associated with that. Yes, it will take a little bit of time, and it will take a little bit of money, but I think the amount of money could be saved dramatically by filing. Money could be saved in not only the refund, but maybe if you try to refinance your home for a much lower rate, then that will also save you money. So those are some of the things you want to consider if you're really on the fence about whether you should file or not. There's a lot of people out there who don't, and I think they're missing a tremendous amount of money who don't file. Another question that comes up is that if you are a distributor of whatever product it might be, and you say, well, I didn't really have that much activity, I didn't sell that much. For example, let's say that you bought a couple $1,000s worth of inventory in the month of October, November, December of whatever year. And you say, well, I only made a couple $100. Well, that might be true. You may have only made a couple $100, and maybe the tax consequence would be minimal, but you've got to remember one thing, is with that $2,000 worth of product that you have on your shelf, you must include, because if you do not include it in the year that you purchase it, then the product's basically going to go away as far as the IRS is concerned. So you want to make sure that you account for your product that you purchased in the year that you buy the product. Again, the tax savings may not be there with the $200 in income, but you still technically need to file it. And in addition to that, if you don't file it, you'll lose that $2,000 worth of inventory that you have on your shelf. So again, it may not seem like a big deal, only making a couple $100, but you also have to consider that if you are a distributor of a product and you don't account for it in the year that you purchase it, then the product just goes away. So those are all the various facets of having, needing, wanting to file an income tax return, specifically for your business. So take that into consideration. Any questions, again, don't hesitate to call us regarding any of this. Next thing I want to talk about is how to bookkeep. There's basically 3 versions of bookkeeping in this world, at least in this country. The one I've got listed there on the whiteboard. How to bookkeep in a business? Do nothing. Doing nothing, well, we all know what that means. That's not very good. The second version, like the medium version, basically the shoebox method. And what is that? That's basically where you throw everything in a box and hope like heck that it will all work out in the end. Or the third version of the extremes is that you have charts and graphs. And what do I mean by charts and graphs? You literally spend too much time with your bookkeeping. So let's talk about the first one where I understand that, to do nothing. The shoebox method. The shoebox method is where you throw everything in a box and hope that it all works out. But what's wrong with the shoebox method is that it's not separated, and just as important, where did the totals come from? I worked with a couple years ago, very lovely couple. They happened to get one of the special letters from the IRS, of which no one ever wants to get. They provided me with their tax information, and they were in those shoe boxes. And when I got the information, there were receipts in them, but there was nothing added up in these receipts. So they collected the receipts, but they didn't add them up. They didn't separate them, and that's kind of important. Then the last one there is the charts and graphs. What do I mean by that? You're literally spending too much time where you could be out trying to actually work, sell, recruit, whatever it might be. You're spending too much time with your bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is the main purpose for this, in my opinion, is 2 reasons. 1, to keep track of what you've got coming and going, and 2, IRS purposes. Now, there are many Americans out there who are very tedious with their numbers, and as an accountant, I respect that. But there's to a point where you almost get too involved, where you actually lose money, where you could be actually making money, you're instead doing bookkeeping. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that at all. So how should you bookkeep? How should you bookkeep? Well, basically, what we have created, and this has been around for many years, is we have an expandable file folding system. The expandable file folding system is basically a system of different categories in which to put your receipts. What you do is like the one that's listed here on the whiteboard, ones that we have available for purchase, is that you just simply, wherever you go, and how is it that you go? You go in your car, quite typically. So you want to keep this expendable file in your car, because that's where the majority of folks collect the receipts. For example, if you are in the landscaping business and you go and get a bulk amount of, whether it is gravel or mulch, whatever, you would put that in the cost of goods sold section. If you're depreciating your truck, you put your gas receipts in there. If for whatever reason you go to an educational seminar, you go put that in supplies as an example. So there are different categories in this, and you collect them through the year. And then at the end of the year, you simply take out the different categories, you get a calculator with the tape, you add up the different categories on this tape, and that is all you have to do. It is not any more complicated than that. For those of you out there who love software and computers, you can do this, software and computers. It's whatever you wish, but for those of you out there who don't do much with computers, this would be great for you. This is very important, is that whatever you collect as an expense, whatever item that goes on that return, you need to make sure that you have a receipt for that return. A lot of people say, I don't get receipts, but you do. You do get those receipts. Even if they're electronic receipts, you get those. A lot of times now we get receipts simply through email. Or you have to go into your account and get those. Well, you have to go and get those. Now, you don't have to cut down a forest of trees and print all this stuff if you don't want to. You just simply save it on your hard drive, on your flash drive, wherever you wish, but you don't have to print everything out. But it is important that if we ever get one of those special letters from the IRS, that you do have access to that, and you have to print it. The IRS expects everything in printed form these days, even in these days. So you may not have that information right now in paper form, but you'll have to have access to it. So you want to make sure you keep track of all your receipts, and this system that I have on the whiteboard is the easiest, simplest manner in which to do this. You simply account for all of this when you're in your vehicle. You put in the slots at the end of the year. You just simply add them up. You say, well, that doesn't look big enough. Well, that's fine. Then you have a system at home that you take the receipts and you just transfer them to whatever larger bin you may have, whatever it may be. But with this, it keeps them separated the entire year. It's exceptionally simple, doesn't cost much money, and doesn't take a lot of time. And like I said, at the end of the year, you simply add up the different categories. If you look at this and you say, I don't want anything to do with this, then Tiernans can simply do your bookkeeping. For some of our clients, if your activity in your business may not be that great because you're relatively new in that business, for those folks, we could charge as little as 50 cents a day. Now, for most of our clients, it's basically $1 a day for their bookkeeping. If you're incorporated, then we'll have to discuss the situation. But it's possible that for the majority of those people out there, it could literally cost 50 cents a day for us to process your bookkeeping. And that is all. 100% deductible. We make it very user-friendly. What we ask from you is that you just simply send us your receipts on a monthly basis, and specifically business receipts. What are these receipts? If you're purchasing inventory, if your sales receipts, any type of advertising, all of what you think you would have as a business receipt, you send it to us. And the thing is that every quarter we provide you a profit and loss statement so you know exactly what is coming in and what's going out, and you review that. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or email us. And then we collect those throughout the year. Not only do we provide you with the profit and loss statement, but we'll also tell you whether you need to make any type of estimated payments, prepayments to the federal, to the state or local government. So you don't even have to worry about that. So we can do it. It's very economical. And if there's anything that we feel is missing, we'll ask you. We make sure that we keep on you about these sort of things. We make it very simple. We're very economical in this case. So you might want to consider that. If you don't want to do any of this stuff, you don't have to, except other than to send us the receipts. On a monthly basis, you get the receipts back at the end of April, beginning of May every year. Very, very simple, maybe even 50 cents a day. If not 50 cents, then most of our other clients, $1 a day. How much time does it take you to make 50 cents or $1? Not very much at all. And you pass it on to us and we'll take care of all of you. If you have any questions of that, please don't hesitate to ask. That is bookkeeping. That is bookkeeping. If you have, the next thing I'll talk about, are those people who have to pay taxes. Those people who are in a business who end up having to make an income. When do you have to pay taxes? And this is basically a very general answer. I have no idea. And the reason I don't know is because every business that you have is different. Income is different. Expenses are different. It's hard to say exactly whether you need to make those prepayments, estimated payments, either, again, federal, state, or local. If this is a question for you right now, if this is a concern of yours, we have until January the 15th of 2013 to still file a fourth quarter payment. So we still have time. If you want us to help you, all you have to do is to provide us with estimates as to your income and your expenses. And you say, I don't know how to do that, I'm not sure exactly what to come up with. If nothing else, guess. At least estimate for us, email us, call us and say, this is what I think I've got income, this is what I think I have in expenses, and at least we can help you with some of that. Because it is important to provide them with a certain amount of taxes throughout the year. And let me back up for a moment. These are for the people who know that they're going to have a profit. If you look at your business and you're relatively new in whatever business it is that you have, and you know, I've spent more than what I make, this does not concern you. This is strictly for those people, strictly for those who are knowing that they're making a profit in their business. So again, only for profit, folks, for 2012. Again, if you need help with this, don't hesitate. Email us, call us, tell us this is what I think I have in income, this is what I think I have in expenses, and we can help you with providing some ideas to what kind of estimate amount that you have. Again, if we do your bookkeeping, we'll do that automatically for you. A lot of people ask, what is deductible? What is deductible? Again, just like my statement as to who has to pay taxes, it all depends upon your business. Most important, like I mentioned at the very beginning, whatever you do, if there's a question that you have, if there's anything, please call or email us. I will, or my staff will be more than happy to answer your question. There's been a lot of, in every industry there's questions about, can I do this or can I do that? Again, don't hesitate to ask us, because depending upon your industry, there may be very clear, yes, that would be deductible. No, that would not be deductible. Again, depending on the industry and the exact expense, there may be quite a bit of gray area involved. Not real sure. Maybe we'll have to look at other tax situations, tax court cases. There's always a lot of variables involved, and the most important thing is making sure that we at least run it by us before you go to maybe a neighbor, a friend, a business associate. That is what's important. The idle tax chatter is nice, but if ever questioned by the IRS, will they allow it? That is what, by far, is what's most important. If, again, you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Whether we get to it during the webinar or if we have to get to it after, we promise that we'll get to it as soon as we can. The next time that we meet will be regarding the Congress has just came out, as in within the last couple days, new tax law for 2012. As to what all of that is, I don't know. I know that we're hearing it on the news. I know that we're reading it in the paper, but I'll be honest with you folks, I am not going to speculate on any of that. Sometimes I just don't have all the faith in the world when it comes to the media. There are specific sources that I like to review before I suggest anything, and that's what I'm going to do between now and next Thursday, which is going to be January the 10th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am hoping that I can get some more information. As a quick example, we just got an email within the last 24 hours from a client talking about the state use tax. Does that still exist for 2012? And I am not sure. That is for those states of Washington, Florida, Texas, South Dakota, those states that do not have an income tax. The IRS automatically gave you a certain amount of a credit based on your income and the size of the family for those specific states. Does that still exist for 2012? I do not know. So that is one good example where I'm just not sure. And I'm just not sure I want to rely on what Congress is telling me now or what the media is telling me right now. So give me a week, and I hope that I'll have some good concrete information for you as to specifically changes for 2012. If you wish to deal with us, Tiernan and Associates, if you're already not a current client of ours, then we do have an organizer. The organizer is listed on the whiteboard. It is a very user-friendly system that we have. This system has been around for over 30 years. The organizer costs $5. If you are a new client, it's free to you from that point on. In the organizer where we specifically list personal tax questions regarding you, your spouse, if you have children, if you have children in college, if you own your home, if you rent, things of that nature. And then in the back of the book, we ask you specific questions as to your business. We ask you total sales for your business, total purchases for your business, advertising, and things of that nature. So if you're already not a client, then please do not hesitate to, you may either call or email my office. We can provide you with a username and password. Again, it's a very user-friendly book. Thousands and thousands of people have filled this out over the years. And again, any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. A lot of people will get the organizer, may not look at it until the middle of March, April, when they end up actually filing their returns. We're still around. Again, don't hesitate to call or email us. We'll be more than happy to take care of any of those issues you may have, whether it's tax question, general tax question specific to your business, or if it's a question about how to fill out an organizer. Please don't hesitate to ask us. Again, I appreciate you all for attending. If for whatever reason, again, we don't get to your question, always email us or call us. Everyone have a nice day and have a good new year. Thank you very much.